Yeah, last night we watched the Bobby Brown story, which I was looking forward to for like a while.
You didn't even watch it. You were on your phone half the time.
That's not fucking true.
Where are you going?
I'm leaving.
You can't leave, bro.
I can't. You left already. You're not even. I don't even know. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm back.
You can't leave.
I can't leave.
Well, I just explained to people how.
But by saying that, you throwing me under the bus. You don't get free rides for throwing people under the bus.
You threw me under the bus the whole episode.
You the one that said I'm not feeling it. You do what the fuck you want to do. Basically, I'ma just be here.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, you can't do that. It's a podcast. Like anything else, obviously I will pick up your slack. I always like I love you, but not on the podcast.
That's not good. And it doesn't matter. Go ahead, Bobby Brown's story.
Davon made the mistake of telling me that fucking Bobby Brown and his side chick turned wife wrote the story, which I could tell. It was still a great movie. I think Woody did really well. I think
the parts you seen.
Davon, what the fuck didn't I see? What are
I
you
don't
talking
know.
about?
I always gotta, like when you showing somebody something, like how it's the GIF or meme when it's like you show somebody a meme or something and they don't laugh or whatever. So like when you show somebody something, and every time you look at them, they on their phone. It kind of like, what did I even put this on for? That's what I was referring to. So I don't know what you
referring
missed.
to,
I don't
but
know
I
what you
disagree
missed,
that like I looked at my phone 3 times. We look at stuff. We have whole ass conversations, and you don't look up from your phone.
Yeah, you have a problem with that.
Right.
Remember you said yesterday,
I can't check my phone at all while the movie is on.
No. You wouldn't do that in the movie theater.
Davon, are you serious? You're the king of being on your multitasking, being on your phone and watching stuff. And
no, I'm not serious. I'm just creating content.
That's okay. But I was watching the. First of all, I didn't know that Bobby Brown dated Janet. I'm like, what the fuck was he like star searching? Like, what are the odds that he has fucking Janet and fucking Whitney Houston? Like, that's crazy to me. And Davon was trying to like, oh, he got hurt by Janet. Like, I don't believe him. He fucking hoeing around everywhere else in the movie, and I'm supposed to believe this the one time that like he was in love.
Because that's usually how it goes.
Because y'all don't know how to deal with hurt. So, like, instead of, like, dealing with it, you just go fuck a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. What else we're supposed to do? Sit home, eat ice cream, and call our girlfriends and
reflect.
Watch Sex in the City.
Reflect. Think about what you could have done better. Think about what you want for the future.
I ain't got time to reflect from Bobby Brown in my prime.
That's why y'all niggas don't grow. Because y'all take y'all mistakes and you be like, well, it happened. Where's the next pussy?
Yeah. That's why we be way less stress-free than y'all.
That's not true.
That's definitely true.
Y'all stress-free because y'all don't have to deal with y'all. Like, we the one that have to deal with y'all. That's why we be stressed.
He ain't had nobody to deal with him.
He had too many people to deal with him.
He didn't. If we're going by that movie.
Everybody sucking his dick, hopping on his
That's draining.
dick.
Those are all vultures.
So why are you doing that?
Because he needs help. He crying for
He
fucking
needs
help.
help.
And y'all just keep fucking bashing him when he crying for help.
I mean,
that's
that's
the way
true.
the world works, though.
That's true.
A man can't really like outcry for helps get what's the word I'm looking for?
Suppressed.
By others, not suppressed by us. Like, we got an issue. Like, we do shit. It's either that nigga's just wilding. What'd you expect? He wanted to be in love with her, but then go fuck 80 other women? That was out of response to her fucking, I just bought you a car for your birthday, and you can't even invite me in the house because you got a nigga in the house that you secretly married to, but you tell me one thing and then go back on with
I don't think she told him something else. Like, she didn't say she wanted to be together. I think it progressed to a point where he was like, all right, what are we doing? And they just didn't have the same answer.
Yeah.
Saying that to say, I think he deserves to be hurt. I think
he deserves to be hurt.
I'm saying he doesn't have to, like, it's okay for him to feel that way. Like, obviously, if he loved her, like, I get that he would feel that way, but it's way better ways to, like, deal with emotions than, like, empty sex.
It wasn't empty. They both enjoyed that.
No, I'm not talking about with Janet. I'm talking about all
in
the
general?
hoes. Yeah.
Oh, the other host.
Yeah, the
He
cries,
enjoyed that too.
the cries for help.
Bro, he wrote a fire ass verse while banging 3 bitches.
That's whack.
We gotta define whackness if that's whack.
That's whack.
If that's whack,
Yeah.
then
First of all,
I'm totally lost.
he would have already wrote a better verse if he was just focused and not fucking people in the trailer in between shots. This makes me sound like I'm really going on this thing. The only thing I had a
you
problem.
are? What do you mean?
The only thing I mean, cause whatever. The only thing I had a problem with was like
Bobby Brown.
his communication with his female friend.
What do you mean?
The fuck I said last night, I think that men automatically assume that they can communicate better with their female friend, and they don't do that with their wife, and then, they end up marrying their female friend because they watered that grass. But that type of communication is what the wife be asking for, but he be giving it to the female friend because he feels like he can't give that to his wife.
I want to talk to that wife.
That's so fucked up.
It's not.
I think that would be okay if male and female friends could truly be platonic, but I don't think that's true.
So this what this had to lead to platonicness.
Huh?
This was leading to platonicness.
What was?
I don't know. The female friend better communication. Bobby Brown.
We just talked about this last night. He was like, "Let's save it for the show."
Yeah,
but that's what I
didn't
said
know
last
it was
night.
leading. You didn't say anything because I said don't say anything.
I mean, my whole thing of starting was like, if he was communicating like that with his wife, then they probably wouldn't have.
I look at that
issues.
in a totally different way. I look at it like we a lot of times as people get misconstrued. Mm-hmm. So we always feel like the person we were with is the person we were supposed to be with. And I don't think life happens like that all the time. I think sometimes you look at it as like, oh, he could have just communicated that with Whitney, and then it would have X'd out. He wouldn't even had that friend.
Nah.
That he wouldn't been married. Obviously, it was something there the whole time because they married now, and it's always that friend that's around. Blah blah blah.
That's not. I'm not saying specifically Whitney. I'm saying men in general.
Yeah, I'm just using that as a situation.
Okay.
So I don't think that's all the way true. I think sometimes people are just meant to be with who they supposed to be with. Like I think I said this before. Sometimes people for stepping stones. Like I needed you to get to this next level, mentally,
hurts.
physically, whatever it needed to be. We get so caught up on our own because we're just selfish. Everybody's selfish. So the person always feels like I'm the one, I'm your one, or whatever the case may be. When reality, you're probably not. We're just doing this right now. So in the case of Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston and what was the girl name? I don't know. Alicia. Like obviously, they were just meant to be together. It took them fucking 40 years to even get to this point.
You don't think the intimacy of those conversations created a relationship?
Absolutely. But she was probably the only one who ever talked to him like that.
Niggas decide that.
That's not true.
The wife is always, I'm not going to say always. 9 times out of 10, the wife is there to have those conversations. You just don't
Sometimes.
feel like having.
Yeah, you said 9 out of 10. I say 7 out of 10.
You just don't, like, guys decide, and, like, especially after you have sex, like, they decide that, like, I don't have to listen to you as much as I did because I got the draws. 2 is like you lose the friend side of what made y'all even become friends, because I think it's more like people's ideas of relationship or society,
just 'cause you're friends with
just being around each other all the time. I guess like whatever.
Just because you're friends with somebody don't mean you have levels of friends. Like this level of friend, I don't like. Their friendship could have started, but never was that deep. Like
you talk about him and Alicia.
Him and Whitney, like. Just
right,
because they were friends, and the shit they talked about probably wasn't even like the shit him and the other girl talked about.
I'm not saying this to say that like that he should be with Whitney. I mean, obviously he can't because she's dead. Like, I'm not saying that to say that, but I'm just saying if niggas watered their relationship before they watered these other like outside relationships, I think it would be a lot better outcomes.
Yeah, that's if life was made to be
But
predictable.
why can't you have like intimate conversations with your like significant other? Like
You can't. That don't mean. I'm pretty sure he had intimate conversations with Whitney. I'm pretty sure.
but I'm sure it's the stuff that didn't fucking matter.
Or
like,
maybe they just like that's my only problem with the female opinion in this situation, because it's always made out to be that like it's you could have just talked to me about whatever you had the issue
I'm
with.
your wife.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
why wouldn't you talk to me about that? What you're saying
I'm saying it's not. You don't have anything to do with anything. Like you just literally. It just wasn't supposed to be you, bro. Like,
what you mean? What
like,
you talking about? For the conversation?
yeah,
I'm not talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about the whole
relationship.
relationship.
I'm
I'm
not
talking
talking
about
about the
conversation. I'm
relationship.
talking about relationship. I'm talking about everything. Like females would be angry because he was with somebody, but then what I'm about to say. But he was more, I guess.
He was emotionally cheating with someone else.
I guess you could say that, for lack of better words. That's not what I wanted to say, but because that sounds like harsh, but that's not in a whatever. My point is, it just wasn't supposed to be you. Like you keep saying all this, like you could have just talked to me. You could have talked to me. It wasn't. It ain't about that. I just wasn't supposed to be with you the rest of my life. Like
I'm not saying that. I'm not like my
you saying
statement
the
is not
conversation.
even.
You saying conversation between the two people could prevent it. If you were given the same conversation that you were given to Elise, whatever fucking name is, to Whitney, this wouldn't be. This wouldn't be a thing.
Bobby Brown, fuck Whitney. Men in general, they feel like they can have, for some reason, more intimate conversations with people outside of their relationship when they should be garnering those type of conversations within their relationship. Like that's what brings people close. That's what makes people connected.
I agree with you, but then I don't agree with you because I don't. That's a blanket statement.
What do you mean? Better communication with your significant other. Better communication with your significant other doesn't create a better relationship?
Yes, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying even if y'all had that, it just wasn't meant to be with you, bro. Like
what? Okay.
Am I not speaking English?
To me, we're having, that's rude. To me, we're having two different conversations. I'm not saying that like he should have talked to Whitney. Like that's not what I'm saying. Obviously, I believe in destiny as well. Like I think you could be with somebody that's not your soulmate, or like
you can't believe in destiny fully if you're saying
that. You don't
that.
understand what I'm saying. Because if you did, they could coexist. Like the thing is, they can.
They can't.
What do you mean?
Go ahead. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just saying, people, like, the longer you're in a relationship, the less you feel like you can turn to your relationship for the shit that you turned to your relationship in the first place. Like, people make a choice, and, like, it could be what you're saying, like, whatever, they just might not be meant together, some shit happened where you just can't get over it. Like, shit grows where you water it. So don't fucking, in general, outside of this relationship, if you watering grass outside of your relationship, what the fuck you think your relationship is gonna do? It's gonna fucking get dry and die, whether you were meant to be together or not. Like, just, all I'm saying is just water your relationship.
If the garden is not worth watering, why would I keep watering?
Why was you in the garden in the first place?
I'll let you speak. And you haven't let me say anything.
That's not true.
It is. I've been talking about it. It's been in pieces. I'll let you get your shit off. You talking about fucking watering gardens that your relationship, if you water your relationship garden, then whatever. What's the point of keep watering the fucking garden if the fucking garden, if I live in fucking the valley? like I'm not gonna keep fucking watering this grass if the fucking grass is not gonna grow. The climate is not gonna allow this grass to grow here. So let me move to fucking downtown, or let me move to fucking somewhere else where the fucking grass can grow. Like I get it. Like you've been with a person for so long that you should be giving that energy. You should be keep trying to water that grass, and you should, if it's meant to be. But I'm not gonna I gotta be a damn fool. Because women got this idea that I don't think women are not just women, but everybody, men, women, everybody. We're very unconscious of what we give off. Like we're totally super unconscious of the shit we give off. So the women can sit there in this situation and say, how could he water that grass over here when I'm right here. He could have watered this grass and I would have been, we could have had that communication and blah, blah, blah. He don't need to talk to her. Bitch, every time I try to come talk to you, you got a fucking attitude about something. Every time I try to get a point across, every time I try to, I'm only getting emotional with this because I kept getting cut off, so now I'm just getting it all up. But like, when I come to you to talk about shit, you want to do some blow. You want to let me in the room. You want to fucking fuck Robin. You want to fucking, like, don't fucking keep blaming this shit on men, women. Like, y'all play a huge part in this shit. Y'all always talk about men don't fucking give their emotions or talk to you about shit. Bitch, I can't talk to you. Like, you're whack. You're a whack listener. Like, every time I try to say something to you, you make it about you. So it just becomes an argument. Like, I don't have time for that. I'd rather go to somebody who, when I do talk to them, they understand. They talk to me like a fucking adult. They don't fucking belittle me. They don't fucking throw something in my face. They don't do this. So that's why I always say, you supposed to be with who you fucking supposed to be with. Like, just because I'm with you at the moment, or 10 years, or however long Bobby and Whitney were fucking married, and Whitney was obviously doing some wild shit while they were married, and we can't just overlook that. People just start fucking being real with yourself. You keep asking for shit, but you're not giving nothing. You're not giving anything. You just keep taking and taking and taking and wanting and wanting and wanting, and you ain't giving shit up. Like, stop blaming all these shit, your fucking problems on men, because we're fragile beings. Like, women are fragile, but men are fragile mentally. So if we feel like the women in the relationship always want you to communicate and tell them how you feel, blah, blah, blah. But if men are fragile and we're realistic and we just down to earth a little bit better to me. Like, we pick up on shit a little bit. Like, let's say, if I had a problem with something that I communicated with you, but you, the way you spat it back at me, your rebuttal was like negative. I ain't talking to you again. Like, why would I? Women has this thing where they'll keep giving you chance and keeping you chance and keep giving you chance. Men don't do that. Like, you fuck me over once, you fuck me over forever. I'm not gonna keep fucking trying to spill my feelings to you. When every time I do, you give me the same shit. And then complain about when Bobby Brown marries the girl who was in the movie the whole time, who got him out the fucking room to go marry his wife. I don't know, bro. Like, I think everybody just needs to stop pointing the finger and, like, evaluate yourself. Because obviously you're doing something. Like, you do, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over, expecting different results.
Yeah. Why would I do that? That's pretty much all I had.
Well, I
didn't have nothing to say for the whole podcast, but
I appreciate that. Like, that was great. That probably made the whole show. Two things though. I think outside of the Bobby and Whitney thing, what I was saying was water the grass before it goes bad. Like, obviously, if you put everything into the shit and it still turned brown, it wasn't meant to be. But don't, like, not do anything and then blame the other person when it turns.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I just want to agree.
Okay, thank you. The other thing is that to me, it's the same reason why, like, when you do relationship counseling, like, you need somebody else in the room. Like, I think most of the time, both of the people are way too close to the issue to, like, get actual perspective. So you think, huh?
What Go say to Tommy? Sometimes you're just too close to see.
Yeah, you blinded, and he got in his face.
I forgot the actual quote.
I can't see you, ghost, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think a lot of the times, like, both parties think they're communicating, but, like, just stuff from the past stops it from encoding the way it's supposed to come off. And I think the longer you've been in a relationship, and this is just real shit, and it's like what old people tell you, like, the less expectations you have for somebody else, like, the better off you're gonna be. So I feel like there's this thing of, you don't expect the other person, kind of like what you said, they do it once, you don't expect the other person to listen. So the way it's like the law of attraction, the way you come off is like, you already know you're not gonna be listened to, so you no, what I was gonna say, you present it in a certain way that creates the same the same situation that you was trying to avoid. Like somebody that's always angry and thinks everybody in the world is mean. You react to people in the world like they're mean, and which makes them mean. And it kind of is like the self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. So I feel like in relationships, and the longer you've been together, you have so much experience and like past shit to fulfill, like self-prophesize. You know what I mean? So I feel like you put that on the situation. I think that to have that kind of, and I get what you mean, to have that kind of communication, because obviously you communicate with your significant other than you would a friend just in general. But to have the kind of communication in your relationship that you have in your friend, to me, you would have to have one of those things that like Lily and Marshall have.
Like, thinking of How I Met Your Mother. That's so funny.
You got to have a system. Like, all right, we're going to say pause. And at this point, you can't bring in old past shit. Like, we just got to sit and, like, have a conversation. Like,
but that's TV, and you know that.
But to me, what I hate is that, like, the people.
We tried the pause thing.
What I was about to say. I mean, because that was somebody else's system. That's not our system.
But
like,
it makes sense, though.
Yeah, it did, but it's still everybody else. But, like, what... I forgot what I was going to say. But the main thing is that, like, if you have a system, I think it's possible to have those kind of conversations with your significant other. Oh, that's what I was going to say. But like, especially in the Black community, when you actually try to do the stuff that's healthy communication wise, people look at you like you weird. Like, you really want to sit down and like say our feelings, and you say like, it makes me feel like this when you say this. Like,
oh no, we don't do therapy. So
I know that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, I think
therapy, like,
I'm saying if you put the work in, like obviously the first default is for you to not to be able to have that conversation with those type of conversations with your significant other. But if it's important to you, I feel like you can put in a little bit of work to make a system for that to work for you.
Absolutely.
But obviously you said if the nigga ain't there anyway, like it's no point of like putting the extra shit in it. But like to me, I think it's a very it's like a trope that bothers me because I always feel like I'm the other person. And like I always feel like I identify with the trope of like the girl that's been around forever. Like the old ball and chain, or like the old loyal person that gets thrown out when like the person decides that they want something else. And like that hasn't happened to me, but I think because like I am that girl. I'm the long-term relationship girl. You know what I mean? Like, I see that, and I see Tasha, and I see myself. I see Whitney, I see myself. I see,
hope you don't see Whitney and see yourself.
I mean, not all the drugs and shit. Obviously, I ain't doing all that. But, like, I think it is something that, I don't know. It's like it's a trigger. It hurts to see that, and like obviously it happens all the time. That's why it's the trope, and it's probably because of the reasons you said. Like the people just don't like pour into each other the way that they used to. Like the longer that they've been together, and so otherwise you're left to see like what else you could have. You know what I mean? And it's fucking 2018. And shit on like we have so much more choice.
Prior to Whitney.
And Bobby knew. Don't say that. It doesn't matter.
You know what the real thing is with the Bobby Brown thing? Which I think is probably why, well, obviously she is wife now, executive produced the movie.
Yeah.
And you know, once you executive produce
and
the
I
movie,
could
you're
have
pretty
supposed to have been their story.
That's what I'm saying. So what I got from it, just from watching the first part, just to bring it back to the Bobby Brown thing. Yeah. It seems like he was and this goes for a lot of people, women, men, transgenders, gay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A lot of times we put ourselves in situations, relationships that's just unhealthy. Mm-hmm. So even if, okay, Janet, boom, let's just do that. Janet.
Right.
Obviously that was unhealthy for him. Mm-hmm. Like, even though he fucking 20 bitches, he Bobby Brown, he had his pinnacle. He still, something inside of him said, damn, I really want to be with you.
Right.
And when a guy says, I really want to be with you, we might say it as a game a lot, but
yeah.
But it's in most cases, some cases, we really mean it. Like when a guy really wants to be with somebody, to betray him is like betraying God in a way. Mm-hmm. Like to us. Not like I'm God.
I get it.
Or she's God or anybody's God.
I don't know how to deal with that type of
it's
rejection.
like, how could you reject me?
Like this is what women want, right? I was trying to commit and you...
I bought you a car. I made a song about you.
She probably ain't even... Never mind. Go ahead.
What you about to say?
She ain't asked for that shit.
They never do.
I know.
They always take it though.
The only reason why I wasn't going to say that. The only reason why I was going to say that is because like you want your niggas to like surprise you with. But to me, it just seems like he was jumping the gun.
Anyway, that wasn't my point.
Yeah, sorry.
So the Janet situation, unhealthy. It's toxic. It wasn't healthy for either one of them. He goes to Whitney. Been married. This fucking nail keeps grabbing my arm every time. He gets with Whitney. With her for about a decade, married. Totally unhealthy. That was just a totally unhealthy relationship. So, and we know Bobby Brown with Whitney, prior to Whitney. We just know the Bobby Brown story. Like, it ain't been to be Bobby then, you got to be Bobby now and shit. Like, it ain't a PG King kind of thing. I think this girl, whatever her name is, it seemed like, you know how you reach an old age and you like, hopefully you start putting things in perspective. Hopefully you could do that at a younger age too. Right. But yeah, you get older, you start putting things in perspective. You start weeding out the stuff you need in your life. Boom. He probably was like, oh shit. Now that I think about it. Because remember, it was a scene that we watched the other day and I was like, man, he didn't know she was really there. Like she showed up when she was with Bobby
Brown. It was when they was at the dinner.
Yeah, she was with Telly Riley.
Yeah, that's somebody else's friend.
Yeah, like I was like, she must have put that in there because I'm pretty sure Bobby Brown was not paying attention to that girl.
I think that was the point of putting that in there. Like he wasn't even paying attention to her the whole
time. What he really was supposed to do, but that probably could have saved his career. Probably could have. Yeah. Obviously, because he's on a good career path now. Like it's never too late for an entertainer to come back and regain. But anyway, my point was,
ego. Sorry,
what's
go
ego?
Ahead. Going after the big starfish instead of the person that's like right there for you.
Yeah, but he was Bobby Brown.
That's a side. Yeah,
that's my prerogative. Yeah, that's a different Bobby Brown. Like,
no, I get it. That was a tangent.
Yeah. So you know how God works. Like, nigga, I'm showing you who you need to have your whole life. Do your whole life. Like, literally. Yeah. You just too blinded by everything else. Blinded. Whitney, you got where I didn't want you to do that. God up there like, fuck, how am I gonna do this? All right, how can I get him back? Sometimes I think that's how, you know how people say like everything's supposed to happen for a reason and everything, like life is already planned. I don't think it's like that. I think sometimes God has a scenario and then you do something, he's like, fuck, how am I gonna get him back to her though?
All right, you do this. All right.
Like, all right, Whitney, you die.
That's what I believe, and we've talked about that.
We have?
Kinda. I think it's like those old Goosebumps books where it's like you get to a certain page and it's like, all right, if you think this, go to this page. If you think this, go to this page. Like, yeah, it's still gonna take you through it, but I think at the end you still end up being in the same
thing you were supposed to be in the beginning.
Yeah, like no matter what stupid earthly shit you do to fuck that up.
So that's kind of I don't know, the fucking Bobby Brown situation. I'm just using, from what I've seen and what I do know from what they showed, it seems like, nigga, you supposed to be with her the whole time. Yeah. You fucking her from the neighborhood, fucking Janet, Whitney, whoever else. And then at the all end, you come back to her.
Yeah, I agree with that because
that's the real love story.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm against that love story. Okay. All I'm saying is that you could change them out, and I think it would be not the same situation because they're different people, but like anybody who's in the long term situation, we're not communicating. Like obviously, whoever this is in this space is going to become more appealing because it's like what you need at the moment.
Oh yeah, we always want what we can't have.
It's like people always think the grass is greener on the other side, and it could be. And I think sometimes it might be. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm just saying, I just.
But the thing, he probably was trying to water the shit out that Whitney. We don't know.
But what I'm saying is, when like the more. It's the misinterpretation the longer you've been together. Like she might have thought that she was doing what she was supposed to do. He probably thought that he was doing what he was supposed to do. But when when you flip it to what the other person actually needs, it probably just wasn't it. You know what I mean? Like
I also think side note that he kept getting in relationships where he thought he had the power.
Right. That's what I meant by ego. It seemed like he was looking for those type of relationships until he figured out that he didn't need that.
I don't know if it's so much ego. Well, I guess in a way, but because from the two that we only seen part one, because part two ain't come on yet. But I'm gonna conclude the whole story.
Yeah.
like I'm with Janet Jackson. She should want me because I'm Bobby Brown. Why she want this background dancer? Okay, fuck it. Broke my heart. Done with that bitch. I ain't messing with no more entertaining bitches. God, like, yeah. I thought you weren't, but then you got to get to this, so I'm going to throw Whitney in there.
Yeah. Because he could have fucked that. Sorry, go ahead.
You could have fucked who?
If he was with Alicia already, he could have fucked
Fucked
that up.
He could have ruined it.
He wouldn't have.
He wasn't even ready for her
he,
yet.
Yeah.
God knew that.
Yeah.
But then he get with Whitney. He thought he had the power. This bitch won't let her fucking Robin go. I want to figure out. Sorry, guys. I turned up. I turned up an hour in the show, but we could just cut the whole front beginning part. And
Just cut it.
No, we got to play the beginning part. It's funny. I don't, as a man, bro, I don't know how I would react if my woman had a friend around that much. Same, I think a female would react.
Yeah.
Why is he fucking here so much, bro?
Tyrone.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, y'all fucking? What is going on? Like, Reno said, read this topic
He
right
sniffed
here.
it. Yeah, we talked about that already, Reno.
He said, damn, I slept through the whole podcast. What's going on out here?
He woke up on the hyper spot and shit.
I don't know how I would feel if my spouse had and was that bold. Like, nigga, because she wasn't doing nothing but condoning Whitney either. Because she was, from the way she looked, she was getting high in there too. How can you not get high? You in there all day, but Whitney getting high. You got to get high. Like, nobody getting, you're not just a square sitting in the house all day and the whole house popping off. You're going to do a bump.
Right.
Just off because of your humanness. Like, your humanness ain't going to allow you, if you're going to stay or you're leaving. If you're going to stay, you're going to do the drugs. It's just the way human mind works. Like, you're not just going to sit there while a whole party's doing blow and you just going to be like.
it's stupid to even try to do that.
I'm going to just sit here and watch Matlock.
Like, you're making it hard for no reason. Just leave.
Leave or do a line. Either way, you're looking hot. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're looking like the feds.
You don't know how somebody.
I don't know how I would feel about that because that's a weird story. That if people watch the Whitney documentary, they know it's a little bit deeper than rap. And I think Bobby Brown, that's the only way he could like sprinkle it in.
Yeah.
He tried to sprinkle
always
it
around.
in.
They just always had her lurking around
Can
corners.
she leave? What is she doing here? I just kicked everybody out the studio for you.
She's still here.
And Whitney never said anything. I think that's what he was trying to get across too.
I think that's multi-layered. I think what I said last night. I think, do I think they were in a full-out lesbian relationship? I don't think that. I think that.
Absolutely.
Hold on, this is me. I think Whitney knew how she felt about her, but she enabled that so she can keep her around as a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise,
they could last night when you said that
they could literally just had a relationship. You know what I mean? Like,
she couldn't though.
I mean, I get it, but
It was
that's
Whitney Houston
the
being
second
gay
thing,
in the 90s.
The second thing is that, like, going to what we were saying, like him getting into relationships with people he think he has the power, but he don't. I think that you can't fucking give nobody no ultimatum like that at that moment.
Which one you talking about?
When he was like, when they was in the bedroom and he finally went off on her.
Oh no, you better give her that ultimatum.
You got to. I mean, no,
you better.
It's selfish. It's not selfish for him to do that because I think it just came to a head. Like the way he reacted to it is like I can't be mad at that. Like I understand where he was coming from. But if she really is like her best friend or whatever the fuck you want to say, that like that's the type of conversation y'all have in public, and then you send her out to do what you told her to do. Don't fucking like.
That's the conversation y'all have in public.
In private.
Oh,
sorry.
I was about to say they did have it in public. Okay,
I mean, yeah, but like ultimatums are selfish. No matter how you flip it. Like, not to say that they're not needed sometimes, but
they
like,
are selfish. Go ahead, finish your point.
That's basically, it's selfish. I feel that it would have. He could have got, well, obviously he got what he wanted. It would have just been healthier for them to, like, him to have had that blow up already and like address it with his wife and have his wife address what the fuck they decide to do.
Yeah, but from the way I see it and the way that I saw it in this movie, the documentary, Whitney was selfish.
Yeah.
I think Whitney, how can I put this? I think Whitney was larger than life. Mm-hmm. She can have anything she want. Mm-hmm. I can have my husband. I can have her. I can have my cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
Who gonna tell me I'm not? And so even when he has the moment, the blow up moment with both of them, and Robin looking at him like, you gonna let him talk to me like that? That right there lets you know it's something else. It was deeper than rap. For her to, let me just get this. I don't want to lose my train of thought. I'm just
Go ahead.
So for her to say that, you could tell it was something deeper than rap.
Right.
Whitney's silence and head down makes me feel like she knows she's wrong on all aspects. I'm wrong with Bobby. I'm wrong with Robin. Like, I can't, like, imagine either way Whitney would have chose that, it ends bad.
Right. That's what, sorry, go ahead.
I'm not disagreeing with you or anything. I'm just trying to give my perspective on it.
Yeah.
To get to the Bobby ultimatum thing, yeah, it's selfish. But he had to, bro. Like, sometimes you got to rip the bandage off. And everything in life is done out of selfishness. Mm-hmm. Your own, rather, even if you're doing something good, it's something self-fulfilling that you're doing it for. So with that, yeah, it was selfish to give her an ultimatum, either her or me. But
just in front of her. That's
fuck what I think it, bro. She's always here. when
else am I going to talk about?
She's here every fucking. Yeah. She sleep. What is she now? And she ate his food. This nigga made a plate for him and his wife. This bitch start eating his plate. And Bobby can cook. Yeah. Bitch, I'm starving. I made that for me and my wife.
They ain't gonna say, nah, eat your food.
He was bugging. He tried power trip. He thought he had a power trip.
Yeah.
But I was gonna agree with you with the, people movies, they always make themselves out to be the good guy. Mm-hmm. But he put in there right after when he like, nigga, you eat the motherfucking food. Like, I think he did a from the first part, okay job with, he didn't throw Whitney under the bus like that.
Right, but he still didn't leave stuff out.
No. Like, cause he could have just said, eat your food, and then been next scene.
Right.
He didn't have to throw in, cause it seemed to me, a lot of times in the movie, Whitney was like the nigga. Like, hold up, this ain't a date. It better be. Yeah. If I'm here. Yeah. That's some bullshit to me. That's her saying, nigga, you eat the motherfucking food. Oh, you ain't hungry? Stop beating them up. Like, it's like, she's the real power in the whole thing. Like, if you want to be real, she had the power of everything. Like she's, and I dare this bitch say to him, nigga, this is Whitney house. Like, nigga, we are married. This is our house. Like what he said. Which lets me know Whitney was saying some other, you want to talk about Bobby and Alicia.
That's what I mean by enabling. Like, to me, I don't think
she was telling her some whole other shit.
To me, because if she told Robin that, like, we are together, I think that Robin would have had more pull. I think that Whitney controlled just how far the situation came, and Robin loved her enough to not leave. Like, she took what she could offer. I think she took it out on Bobby. Like,
she hated Bobby.
I mean, obviously, if you
with the woman I want to be with.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta be around y'all every day. I hate you too. That shit gotta be like, just to give her a little credit, because when I watched the Whitney documentary, that shit gotta be hard for Robin.
Hell yeah.
To be around somebody you love and they have to be in another relationship.
That's why I thought
face.
We don't have to, like, well, people, it came out already, but that's why I thought that, like, because I always look at, like, director's choices, like how a director chose to tell a story. And he told that by when they had the baby, she said, Robin, can you hold the camera? Because first it was Bobby holding the camera, and, like, Robin was just kind of on the side.
It was like their baby.
Yeah, and then, exactly. And then she was like, Robin, can you
switch with Bobby?
Yeah, basically get the camera, like, this is my fucking family, and, like, capture it. But I feel like, like, that
Whitney
part didn't have to
put, bro.
Right. Like, that's why.
That's the bad selfishness. When you're not aware how you just hurt everybody.
That's what I was about to say. I think it's like, it's when love goes bad. Like, to her, it's like, like, I'm loving on my best friend. I'm loving on my husband. Like, I have a loving circle around me or whatever. But, like, yeah.
What's everybody so angry? We got drugs. We got each other. Yeah. What's going on? Why can't we just have this whole
But you know how many times that happens? Like, you, like a best friend just be around and, like, be in love with you, but just don't say anything?
I think that's more about, I think that's more a female thing.
Like, I don't think it's a female has a male best friend that's around all the time. Or a
female best friend. I don't think they have I don't know. a male best friend that's always around and he's not gay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that don't work. It
Oh
like
no, I
it
never
don't.
even seen that.
Like that's why
That's
we
so
talk
foreign to
about the
me.
friend zone. Like that wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't a dude around that thinks he's gonna be more, and then the girl gotta be like, nope, like just a friend.
Oh, I thought you were saying like basically. Go ahead.
Basically saying like a dude that'd be like, okay, like I'll be your friend or whatever. Like I don't think he's actually just like reserved to being her friend. I think
No,
he's
he just want to be around you.
Yeah, he's
If I can't be with you, at least I get to be around you.
yeah, and just like stand on a bench for whenever he get called in. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that's why I don't have male friends because
But
I don't trust.
I was saying I could see that also with females with female friends.
I could see that.
I
But
don't
then
really
we're getting
happen.
into like
I don't think that really happens with males and a female friend of the male or a male friend of the male.
romantically. I'm talking about having romantic. You think it's a lot of females who has a female friend that's romantically into them?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but
Absolutely.
I don't think
Robin.
I don't think it's more. I don't think that's more prevalent than having a male best friend as a female. That
I don't
wants
even
to be
know
more than
females
your
who have male best friends.
friend. What?
I rarely do. Like
Oh,
unless they
okay.
gay. Like I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just ignorant. I rarely see females with male best friends that's not gay.
I see that all the time, but
Because they sleeping with each
I
other.
never trust it. Yeah, to me, like I don't think platonic friendships between opposite sex exist. I think it can become platonic, or like it can start off this and then become platonic, or start off platonic and then become this. But I think at some point throughout the time, like it has to switch over.
And then what if you guys were like, yeah, we wasn't good?
Yeah, then that's it, and then y'all could be friends
Yeah.
forever for the rest of the time. That
I see that often.
Yeah, me too. And that was kind of like my whole thing with that. I
But
just
the
feel
Robin and Whitney, I don't think that was
I think
that-
Whitney wanted it. I
her,
think
her cake and eating it
yeah,
too.
I think she was in denial. She knew what the fuck Robin wanted. She knew what she was doing to Robin.
And
but
she had to
just
pay
wanted-
Robin to be quiet after,
Yeah.
because remember she did leave.
Yeah,
I think it was at that point
that
probably.
last tour, I think.
Yeah, and like yeah, you can't do this no more. It's like because he is my husband. I can't really like. I can't.
Yeah.
How would that look? Whitney Houston breaks up with Bobby Brown for Robin in 1990 something.
And that's probably another reason why they didn't even go further with their relationship too.
Yeah, it was 1990 something. And she
You
was
can't do
fucking.
that.
I didn't really know. Well, I did know, but we mentioned it. I had to tell you that black people didn't really kind of fuck with Whitney like that. Like when
Right,
she was
yeah, I
getting booed
didn't
at the
know.
Soul Train
Yeah,
Awards,
yeah.
and they were booing. Like, who the fuck is booing Whitney Houston? Like,
Yeah.
ignorant ass black people.
Yeah,
She
she
was-
ain't hood.
She wasn't. She was. Her songs was like, I wanna dance with somebody. These fucking pop,
Yeah.
share ass
It
songs.
was like y'all can take Whitney, we'll take Tina Marie.
That's a terrible trade. It ain't terrible, but if I'm a fucking basketball team and somebody was like, we get Tina, well, you get
White
Tina,
people-
and white people always getting the conniving
White people
on us.
get,
and
I
shit.
know, white people get. Whitney,
That's how we
and
got
black
sold in the
people
first
get-
place.
Yeah.
We'll give you this if you.
Yeah, but just as some.
Our black
but-
ancestors is fucking. Our black ancestors is crazy, bro.
Why you say that?
Because these niggas, obviously we were slaves in Africa
Yeah.
already, but then for them niggas to be like, yeah, go ahead, take them.
Yeah, you can have it.
Yeah. Oh,
Please.
you can take them. How many you say you want? 48.
Oh, all right.
I gotta keep at least. Which y'all don't give me. We got these smallpox blankets.
You stupid. Speaking of that, I got.
And then they enslaved them.
Yeah, it's so
Black
much
people.
more to that, but I don't. Like in the past, if I got a sniff of like there's something that they're pulling the wool over your eyes or whatever, like the old me would just like go ahead and try to like research as much as possible. But I think at this point in my life, I'm just like,
Yeah,
this shit don't
that's pretty much it.
matter.
Yeah, that's why all these topics didn't fucking matter.